For those of you who didn't know before watching this video, Jamie Foxx has been admitted to the hospital with an undisclosed medical condition. Several theories and rumors have begun to circulate as to whether this is some kind of a stroke or if Mr. Fox may be the target of a much darker plan. But before we get into why he's really in the hospital, let's do a little rundown of just exactly who Jamie is. Jamie was born Eric Marlon Bishop on December 13th in Terrell, Texas, 1967. He was adopted at birth by his grandparents, Estelle Marie, who was a nurse, and Mark Talley, who was a local yard worker. Fox began playing the piano when he was 5 years old and had a very strict Baptist upbringing, even being a part-time pianist and choir leader at Terrell's New Hope Baptist Church when he was just a teenager. His natural talent for telling jokes was already in evidence as a third grader, when his teacher would often use him as a reward. If the class behaved well, Fox would get to tell them jokes. But his focus would shift over the years, briefly being part of his school's basketball and football teams, as well as singing in a rock band called Leather and Lace. After high school, he received a scholarship to United States International University, where he studied musical and performing arts composition. This is when he began his rise to fame. In the early days of school, Fox started doing stand-up comedy after a girlfriend dared him to do it, and he fell in love with comedy. Not her, just comedy. He would often be seen out late at night performing stand-up at as many mics as he possibly could, and he chose the stage name Jamie Foxx, with his surname being a tribute to the comedian Red Fox. In 1991, he was asked to join the cast of In Living Color, an incredible sketch show alongside comedic performers like Jim Carrey and the Wayans brothers, Marlon and David, carving out his own place in sketch comedy history with his iconic character, Wanda. Following a recurring role he had on a comedy series sitcom called Rock, Fox went on to star in his own sitcom, The Jamie Foxx Show, for 5 years. He also produced the show through his own company, Foxhole Productions. Both during this time and following it, Fox began making his move to the big screen, starring alongside acting heavyweights like the late great Robin Williams in the movie Toys, Al Pacino and Cameron Diaz in Any Given Sunday, and so many more. But it wasn't until he worked alongside world-famous Scientologist Tom Cruise in the film Collateral that Fox would receive the Academy's praise, being nominated for Best Supporting Actor at that year's Oscar ceremony. Now don't feel too bad, because a year later he won Best Actor for his portrayal as the music legend Ray Charles in the biopic Ray. His performance stunned the audience, as not only was Jamie's stellar acting chops on display, but his absolutely incredible vocal skills stole the show. Like I said earlier, Jamie hasn't always exclusively been on camera in an acting capacity. Fox made an album in 1994 called Peep This that didn't receive a lot of success when initially released, but in 2003 he featured on a song called Slow Jams by rapper Twista alongside Kanye West, and the song hit #1 on the US Billboard's Top 100 list. He collaborated again with Kanye on his song Gold Digger, in which Fox sang a Ray Charles inspired hook. Since that time, Fox has gone on to keep up the good work, so to speak, releasing 3 more solo albums which also led the Top 100 charts several times, and he's been a regular in Hollywood as an actor for a while now, starring in blockbuster movies like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Baby Driver, Django Unchained, and he even recently pulling off an Adam Sandler move and signing a contract with Netflix, essentially guaranteeing that he has work for the rest of his life and the possibility of leading his own franchises, with movies like Project Power and Day Shift. On the surface, this should mean that Fox lives a happy, healthy life, right? No. Well, the speculation surrounding his hospitalization would suggest otherwise. Reports have surfaced that police officers visited Fox while he was in the hospital after the actor had claimed that someone was trying to take him out, or in his own words, unalive him. You see, over the years, Fox has been very close to one man in particular, Mr. P. Diddy. Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, is a famous rapper and music producer, with many of his albums like No Way Out and Forever being certified platinum time and time again. However, if you ever received an invitation to Diddy's house, you were more than likely met with some rules. One of those rules was, don't tell anyone what you've seen or done here. You see, it turns out that Diddy would regularly host, let's say, extravagant events at his house for celebrities who needed to blow off some steam and who hadn't really come to terms with who they were on the inside yet. Fox was invited to attend said events, but has kept to his word and stayed very quiet through the years. However, there had been speculation for quite some time that the rapper's true orientation was mixed, as he was known to have a partying lifestyle, but it was a very secretive one at that. All was calm for Diddy until a few months ago when Fox posted a video of himself seemingly confirming the rumors as true, even describing a time when he tried to enter the home with a massive video camera and was refused by Diddy. Being outed by anyone is horrible, but having someone hospitalized in response may be a little too far. That's right, many reports suggest that Diddy has a vendetta against Fox for spilling the beans and hired someone to send him a message. Diddy is a very wealthy man. Who knows how many people he has in his pocket already, prepared to take out any enemy with a single notice? He has access to things like untraceable toxins or big buff guys with crowbars. So is the rapper paying someone to take out the man that broke his cardinal rule of partying really out of the realm of possibility? While this may sound far-fetched at first, the information Fox shared about his upcoming Netflix project Back in Action will actually back up the theory. The film Back in Action has been suffering setbacks from the beginning, because not long after production began and cameras started to roll, Fox had the project paused after he discovered that a crew member was plotting to steal $55,000 from the actor's personal bank account. He reported this to the police, and the bosses of the shoot ultimately had the production halted to allow an investigation to take place. The investigation led to a member of staff being fired as it was discovered that they had been linked to multiple attempted scams on celebrities over the years. But this wasn't the only crew member that was going to be fired, as Fox reportedly snapped on set following the incident, firing several crew members in what was described as an all-out witch hunt. The movie has been cursed from the start though, with many crew, including Jamie himself, claiming that the entire project felt like it was being sabotaged by someone. Now sure, Mother Nature played a big part in this role, seeing as the movie was being filmed in London during the winter, but this latest incident left a dark cloud looming over the set, with the situation becoming so bad that actress Cameron Diaz, who was set to make her return to the acting world, had changed her mind and decided to stay retired following the release of Back in Action. 3 weeks ago, Fox was rushed to hospital for a mysterious medical complication and has only recently posted an update on Instagram with an update on his condition, seemingly on the right track to feeling healthy. His family has been with him since the incident started, but has also been very unable to share the exact details on what's happened exactly. But what's odder is, despite the fact that Jamie is in hospital, the director of Back in Action, Seth Gordon, has opted to continue filming Jamie's scenes, just with his stunt double instead. But this begs many to ask the questions. Why is this man so calm and quick to continue shooting? Like, we understand having a deadline, but if your main actor is out sick, especially with an unknown medical condition, why would you continue shooting when you haven't got the first idea when or if that person is going to return? There are several theories circulating at the moment calling to question the director's true nature, because money makes the world go round. What if P. Diddy knew Gordon would take the bribe? What if the pair of them had been behind every single thing that was wrong with the project from the very beginning? Maybe they hired someone to attempt to steal Jamie's money just to distract them from their true intentions. And were they personally responsible for hospitalizing Jamie Foxx? Well, with any luck, in the coming weeks, the truth will be revealed, and karma will come back for those who deserve it. We at the channel wish Jamie a speedy recovery and hope to see him up and about real soon. Number 10. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise jumped for joy in 2005 when he announced his engagement to fellow actor Katie Holmes during an interview on the much-loved talk show The Oprah Winfrey Show. Tom's excitement was well known to many people, including his then co-star of the film Collateral, one Jamie Foxx. Yes, I know they have worked together in the past, but that is most likely never going to happen again. While close friends following the premiere of their film, Katie and Jamie actually became much closer than anticipated. So close, in fact, that when Katie and Cruise split in 2012, Jamie was right there to comfort her. The two were regularly seen together at ball games, or just out and about on the sidewalk, but it was confirmed that they shared a romantic connection following the leak of a photo taken by someone in Jamie's studio. The photo shows Jamie and Katie holding hands as they go through what appears to be some kind of meeting. Jamie recounted the story in interviews a few weeks following the photos circulating and confirmed that there was something there. He just didn't think it was necessary to tell anybody about it. Well, Tom thought it would be, because Tom has been very open about the fact that he doesn't speak to Katie anymore, both due to his religious and personal beliefs. And when he heard the news of these two being together, Cruise flipped his lid at Jamie and has refused to speak to him ever since. Sorry, Tommy, looks like Katie wanted someone a little more foxy. Number 9. Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson has been a Hollywood megastar since hanging up his leather boots and knee pads from his wrestling days. The idea of Jamie Foxx and Dwayne Johnson working together actually sounds kinda cool. The possibilities are endless. The only problem though is that it would be pretty hard deciding whose name is more important on the poster. Dwayne has been asked before if he would ever actually collaborate with Jamie, and he jokingly told reporters that he refused to work with Jamie simply because he's just a little nervous that Fox would outshine him in whatever project they ended up working on together. The Rock has been in several blockbuster franchises over the years, and Jamie has been making a name for himself as a leading man with his recent slew of Netflix projects like Day Shift and Project Power. So while the idea of these two sharing the screen is epic, the fear for The Rock is that it'll only be seen as a Jamie Foxx movie featuring The Rock. It's okay, Rocky, just go find a jungle and make another Jumanji movie. Number 8. Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz first broke onto the silver screen in 1994's classic cult comedy The Mask, alongside the legendary Jim Carrey, and she also went on to portray Princess Fiona in the Shrek franchise, and many other wonderful things. Now, Cameron's spot on this list is an interesting one, as she was set to star alongside Fox in a new action comedy for Netflix called Back in Action. Recently, during the production of that film though, it was reported that Jamie Foxx had an on-set freakout following the discovery of a crew member trying to steal $55,000 from his personal bank account. Jamie had felt that the production of the film was cursed from the beginning, and it's been reported that the project has had several setbacks due to weather conditions as they were filming in the UK during the winter. On top of the weather and the plot to steal from him, Jamie also collapsed suddenly on set and has been in hospital for quite some time now. Cameron had actually come out of acting retirement to participate in this Netflix project, but recently told insiders that she would be returning to retirement following the negative experience that she's had on set, from not only the weather, but apparently Jamie as well. Not only refusing to work with Jamie again, but refusing to work ever again. Number 7. Nick Cannon. Nick has been a television host since 2006 when he first started on the hit TV talent show America's Got Talent. His bright smile filled the theater every time he walked on stage. The energy he brought, on top of his ability to interact with the performers, made him a memorable addition to the TV hosting world. Now, Nick and Jamie actually have a pretty long history together. In fact, Cannon has gone on record to say that Jamie Foxx let the young actor stay on his couch as a teen when he had nowhere else to go. His kindness and care gave him the confidence to make a name for himself, and well, that he did. Now, while the bond seems strong with these two, Nick has never actually worked with Fox, and in fact will be taking over his position as host on the game show Beat Shazam, a show where contestants have to try and guess a song faster than the music recognition app Shazam. Honestly, this will be a fun change of pace as Cannon has the right energy for the show. It just sucks that he's doing it because Jamie is in a coma. Number 6. P. Diddy. Sean P. Diddy is an American rap artist, producer, and part-time actor. He's worked with people like Usher and the notorious B.I.G., but recently his name has been brought up in connection to Jamie Foxx. Back in the day, Jamie and Diddy were supposedly friends, and Jamie would regularly be invited to attend some of Diddy's more private events. Sean had rules set in place for the people attending these events, and the main one being, don't talk about anything that you've seen. Well, a few months ago, a post was made to TikTok of a video in which Jamie openly discusses a particular party from back in the day where he tried to enter with a camera, but one of those like big 90s cameras, so it was massive and pretty hard to hide. When asked about this event, Diddy actually denied that it ever happened, but several rap artists like 50 Cent and T.I. have come forward with similar experiences. Diddy has claimed that while Jamie and him were friends in the past, any future collaborations of any kind were exclusively off the table. Alright, well that doesn't make you look guilty at all, Diddy. Number 5. Denzel Washington. You may know Denzel Washington as the Equalizer, a man who believes he has put his mysterious past behind him and cannot stand idly by when he meets a girl under the control of violent Russian criminals. What some of you may not know about Denzel and Jamie is that they physically aren't allowed to be on set together. Well, why? It's just because they never actually get any work done. In 2018, Jamie brought Denzel onto an episode of his short-lived interview-style talk show called Off Script. During the conversation, the two are regularly distracted and veer far off course from the topic of discussion several times. There were a lot of laughs during that interview, and the spark of a team-up between the two went wild. Denzel and Jamie in a movie together? Yes, please. Well, Denzel said no thank you. While he has nothing against Jamie, they can both agree that the on-set shenanigans that would surely take place would set whatever production they were on back, like by a lot, like way back. The only way this would ever work is if it was some kind of like an action comedy, but even then the bloopers may be longer than the finished product. Number 4, Cat Williams. You are sure to recognize our next entry on this list. Heck, there's probably a good chance you can just hear his voice by looking at a picture of him. Cat Williams is an actor and comedian with a solid lineup of belly-buster comedies under his belt, including Friday After Next, the Scary Movie franchise, and of course, his multiple solo stand-up comedy showcases. What many may not know though is that Cat's been known to fly off the handle once or twice a day. During many of his live performances, Cat has claimed to know secrets about several of his fellow comedians, particularly their preferences and partners. Cat has gone on mic and claimed that Jamie is gay on multiple occasions. Well, of course Jamie doesn't appreciate that. Even if he is, it's none of your darn business, so just leave it off stage. Even if he is, you don't need to talk about it on stage. On top of this, following Jamie's recent hospitalization, Cat has expressed in interviews that his theory is that Jamie has been silenced for what he said about P. Diddy. But Cat also said stuff about P. Diddy and it was like the same thing, so why is Jamie in the hospital and you're not, Cat? The refusal to work together is very mutual for this one, as both Jamie and Cat have expressed their professional respect towards each other, but the chances of these two coming together for a project is pretty unlikely. Number 3, Ed Sheeran. If you've been to a wedding in the last 10 years, you've certainly heard this man's soothing voice. Ed Sheeran first debuted on the UK charts with his single, The A-Team, in June 2011. Since then, he slowly made his way up the charts and to where he is now. The redhead heartthrob has been in our ears for years. Did you know that he was also in Jamie's house for like 2 months? During an interview for the Graham Norton show, Jamie shared a story. When Ed Sheeran first got to the States, he was seeking any opportunity to share his music with the world, and luckily for him at the time, Jamie Foxx was hosting a radio show in Los Angeles. Ed tracked down the location of the studio and set up a meeting with Foxx. Foxx then took him to his home studio and asked Ed to play. Obviously, Jamie was blown away. Not only did Jamie play his music on air, but he also wanted to see how well Ed could perform for a crowd that was not expecting him. Jamie put Ed at the end of a show featuring prominently African American performers from various genres. And while not what they were expecting, he tore the room apart and got a standing ovation in 12 minutes. This experience, on top of the radio gig, must have been enough for Ed to want to work with Jamie forever, right? This dude started his career. Well, nah. Ed got out of there after about 6 weeks and he started making his mark on the stage. Ed's refusal to collab with Jamie doesn't come from a place of malice, so perhaps staying with Jamie for 6 weeks exposed him to some kind of a secret that maybe we don't know yet. Maybe we'll learn. Who knows? Number 2, Bobby Brown. Bobby is an American singer, songwriter, and dancer, and is noted as one of the pioneers of New Jack Swing, a fusion of hip-hop and R&B. He's been working hard since 1978, but much like any of us, he likes to kick back and relax with a little bit of karaoke. Himself and his then wife Whitney Houston decided to attend a party at their friend Jamie Foxx's house. Jamie would regularly throw karaoke parties, and a few notable celebrities have apparently stopped by. On The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Jamie told the audience that he used to get NSYNC and Backstreet Boys to sing each other's songs. Oh my god, that sounds fun. Heck, even the great Hugh Hefner stopped by to drop a verse. But most notably was Bobby Brown and his then wife Whitney Houston. Whitney had recently been crowned the R&B singer of the millennia, so this was a massive deal for Jamie. He pulled out his gigantic camera, he clicked on the battery pack and started filming. Whitney Houston went on stage and did the song from Titanic that we all know and love, and it was a beautiful performance, followed by a few tunes from Bobby as well. Well, when Bobby asked Jamie for the footage from that night, Jamie had only recorded the parts of Whitney being on stage and not Bobby. Apparently his face dropped and he scolded Jamie for not capturing his glorious moment. There are several reasons for these two not to work together, but this one is just so sad. That video would have been a historical document at this point. And at number 1, Seth Gordon. While you may not know Seth by name, you've most certainly seen his work. Seth has been a director since the early 2000s and has had a massive slew of successful comedy outings like Horrible Bosses, Pixels, and the 2017 Baywatch remake. Okay, those last two are bad examples, but Horrible Bosses is a good movie. Seth was recently tasked with directing a new action comedy for Netflix starring Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx. Initially, Seth seemed very into the idea of working with Jamie and was pretty excited to have him on board for the movie, but with the multiple setbacks by both the weather and Jamie personally, it seems that Seth has decided to wrap production on the film early, using Jamie's stunt double to fill his place. According to the director, the team has enough usable audio and video footage to stitch together a final product without actually needing Jamie. This is extremely suspicious, as this decision was only made 2 days after Jamie fell mysteriously ill. If your lead actor is hospitalized, you shouldn't just wrap up without them, unless of course you know that they're not coming back anytime soon, which, considering the circumstances, would not be a surprise to anyone. Heck, if anybody got paid to keep quiet about something, it would probably be Seth.
Starting us off at number 10, we have the social media post. So apparently he's been in the hospital for 3 weeks, and I genuinely had no idea until this past weekend when he posted on his Instagram. The post read, "Appreciate all the love, feeling blessed," as fans and celebrity fans had been sending their support to the actor. Sometime mid-April, it was reported that he had endured an emergency on set, which required immediate medical attention. No one had any idea what happened or if he was okay until a public statement was posted by his daughter, Corinne. She wrote, "We wanted to share that my father, Jamie Foxx, experienced a medical complication yesterday. Luckily, due to quick action and great care, he is already on his way to recovery. We know how beloved he is and appreciate your prayers. The family asks for privacy during this time." Because of this, she decided to take a break from her job as a DJ to be by her father's side. While it remains unclear the severity of his illness or what he even has in the first place, one source claimed that the actor is actually okay. They also said he would be staying in the hospital until further notice, as doctors wanted to keep him in for more tests and observation. At number 9, we have The Meltdown. Before he went to the hospital, he was filming the upcoming Netflix movie Back in Action, starring himself and Cameron Diaz. It seems as though things had been stressful for the actor on set right before he experienced his emergency. Could it be possible all of these things contributed to it? No one can say for sure, but it has been proven that severe cases of stress can lead to high blood pressure and other heart-related issues. Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly what he's dealing with, so take this information with a grain of salt. But stress isn't very healthy for someone with a taxing job. It was reported that he had a meltdown on set, which resulted in him firing lots of staff crew. Apparently included was an executive producer, 2 directors, and his own driver. It wasn't disclosed what happened exactly or if they were let go for justified reasons. Filming was a whole other source of stress, as it constantly had to be pushed back due to unexpected weather conditions. Things took a turn when filming was later further delayed after an explosive device from World War II was found on set, where they planned to film multiple action scenes. I can only imagine the tension on set. It must have been difficult not just for Jamie, but for the other castmates like Cameron and the other staff crew. When you're just trying to do your job and film these scenes, but then you're not able to get things done, that also means a lot of money is gone. At number 8, we have stunts. Back in 2012, the actor was cast in Quentin Tarantino's film Django Unchained. In this movie, he played a man seeking vengeance toward his former owner who treated him and his wife so viciously. So with a plot like that, the movie was bound to be violent and messy, which means lots of fighting, which means lots of physical labor. Thank God for stunt doubles, am I right? But what made Jamie fear for his life was riding the horses on set. He is actually a trained horseback rider to an extent, so it wasn't like he had no idea what he was doing. But he did say that the horse was more used to a stunt double on their back, so him having to be on the horse himself was definitely an experience for both him and the horse. He explained that the risks with this stunt meant that everyone was all hands on deck. Lots of staff were at his side, arms out and ready if he were to fall off somehow. There was a particular scene where he had to ride the horse without a saddle, which was already scary enough for the actor. But being the actor that he is, he was able to play it off with ease. He also admitted that inside, he was petrified. It was because of this he managed to convince Tarantino for permission to bring his own horse, Cheetah. Next up, we have him as a hard partier. While for some, aging means settling down and taking things slower, but this is not the case for Jamie. He continues to keep birthdays big and exciting no matter what. For his 50th birthday in 2017, he took a less traditional route and had a theme. This theme was very similar to the reality show Survivor, as he had all of his guests arrive on an island only to be eliminated following some tasks. He was very vague about it all, not wanting to give it away completely, but it definitely sounded like a time. So when asked about his age, he said that he still felt young and goofy, hence the extravagant celebration. But he also said he can't go to clubs anymore because there's only young people there and he can't really vibe with them. Which was ironic because 2 years later, he ended up celebrating his birthday at a club. It was the typical club celebration with a huge booth and the drinks and the signs with his name on it held by the female staff and the dancing and the loud music, and the list goes on. If you've looked at your peers' Instagram stories on a Friday night, you'll know exactly the environment I'm talking about. While this is comparably less wild than his 50th birthday, it's still big and bold just the same, and he wouldn't have it any other way. At number 6, we have leg day. So as someone who cares about body health and exercise, he did admit to lacking in one particular section of the body: his legs. He voluntarily chooses to skip leg day because, in his words, brothers don't do legs, whatever that means. He explained that he likes to be big at the top and small at the bottom, saying, "I could beat you up, but I can't chase you." In 2019, he attempted to take a squat class, but it was way too hard. He said that he couldn't do it because he doesn't have calves. Now obviously he does have calves, it was only hard because he wasn't used to it and didn't want to keep it up. I say this like I'm some sort of gym expert. He turned to coaching for his youngest daughter's basketball team, but that also ended up being a short-lived experience. He only coached once and doubts they'll ever ask for him back. He shared that when it comes to basketball, he gets way too excited. And sure, lots of people are this way. But for a little basketball league for a bunch of 11-year-olds, it can be excessive and harmful. It's a regular Saturday afternoon for these kids, not an NBA championship. He admitted that at the game, the referee came up to him and said, "I love Django, but you've got to get off the court." At number 5, we have the set scam. So back to the film, back in action. Apparently someone tried a money scam on the actor. One of the crew members asked him for $35,000 in cash. It's unclear if he was selling something or asking for a loan, but regardless, any reason is just as weird and super unprofessional. They also tried to sweeten the deal by including a Rolex watch, which definitely points to some type of weird selling pitch they were trying to do. Fox called the police on the employee, where he was immediately fired and investigated. Some sources were speculating that this wasn't even the employee's first attempt with a celebrity, which I can't help but think, but why does Hollywood keep hiring this person in the first place? If he's some known instigator, surely a huge industry like Hollywood would perform thorough background checks on all of their workers. So this, paired with the other on-set issues that kept happening, I can't help but feel like it serves a type of omen that this film should not be happening. Too many things are happening, no one can catch a break, and I'm not just talking about Jamie. But you know how it is in Hollywood, the show must go on. At number 4, we have inappropriate allegations. So a few years ago, it came out that he had taken advantage of a woman in 2002. The woman told authorities that when she attended a Las Vegas party with a friend, she met Jamie, where he forced her to do certain things with him that she didn't want to do. She ended up going to the hospital following a severe panic attack right after their non-consensual activities. Jamie denied this ever happened and filed a lawsuit against the woman. One of his reps came out with a statement saying, "The first time Jamie became aware of this woman's absurd claims about an incident that supposedly occurred 16 years ago was when TMZ contacted his representatives Tuesday about this story." They also said the alleged incident was not reported to law enforcement in 2002 or at any other time in the last 16 years until last Friday because the incident never happened. This case was apparently closed due to how long it had been when the violation took place. Apparently in the state of Nevada, cases of this nature need to be reported within the 3 years it happened, which I have many thoughts about, but that's for another time. So Jamie was never arrested or charged for it, and as for his lawsuit, well, not much came out of that either. At number 3, we have support. Following the news that he was hospitalized, came many supportive statements from his other celebrity peers. Kerry Washington, whom he had played her movie husband twice, shared an Instagram post dedicated to him. She wrote, "Sending you all the love and prayers, my movie husband." His other former co-star, Garcelle Beauvais, sent her wishes following the same sentiment sentiment as she wrote, "I love you so much. I want and need you to get better soon. Sending you light, love, and prayers." Nick Cannon shared some light on the situation as he also showed support for his friend. In an interview, he said, "I know he's doing so much better because I'm actually about to do something special for him and doing him a favor." The favor in question was Nick temporarily replacing him as a guest host on the show Beat Shazam. While this seemed like a cutthroat decision from the showrunners, Nick reassured that he actually got Jamie's blessing to accept the opportunity in the first place. This was probably the best way to go about it, considering Jamie was literally in the middle of filming a whole other movie, so it could have been a whole schedule conflict thing anyways. At number 2, we have conspiracy theories. One can't help but be curious about what really is going on with Jamie. People were designed to be annoyingly curious, and that means being nosy to a fault. With this incident came many theories shared by internet users around the world. It ranged from harmless speculation that he had suffered a stroke, which is actually plausible, but since no one can confirm that, it could easily be incorrect as well. And then there was one who believed it was because of the vaccine. Like, how do you even come to that conclusion? The Twitter user wrote, "I told y'all that it would take a famous celeb like Jamie Foxx having a huge medical emergency and me merely mentioning that he was vaccinated to get the attention of the extreme woke left because they are getting nervous about all those boosters they had." Which, bestie, I promise you, the only person who came to a vaccine-related conclusion was you. Yeah, I now understand why it was their priority to share very little, because no matter what they do, things will always be twisted to fit baseless narratives. It gets worse when people started claiming he passed away, despite both his daughter and he himself posting that he is doing fine. Finally, at number 1, we have marriage. Living the traditional married life was never in the cards for him, he admitted in an interview. He said, "The 2.5 children, the wood paneling on the station wagon, and the cottage, I didn't think that was for me." He also acknowledged that lots of marriages don't end well and end up affecting the kids, which is something he did not want to happen with his daughters. When it comes to the relationship he has with his daughters, he said, "We actually came together more. So I don't know what that is, I just know that it is different, but it's a whole lot of love." He also said that the pressure that comes with marriage was something he'd like to avoid at all costs. He prefers to keep things moving and living as he always had. He made it clear that his family will always be a priority to him, and while it's not necessarily like the typical family based on societal norms, it clearly seems to be working for him and his kids. I can't help but think about what's gonna happen to the Back in Action movie. You only use a stand-in or a stunt double for so long. I feel like they should just take the L and delay filming until further notice. I mean, it wouldn't be the last time. What do you think?
Before we update you on Jamie's current condition, let's break down one of the main theories as to how he got there in the first place. Jamie Foxx has been admitted to hospital with an undisclosed medical condition. Several theories and rumors have begun to circulate as to whether this is some kind of a stroke or if Mr. Fox may be the target of a much darker plan. Reports have surfaced that police officers visited Fox in the hospital after the actor claimed that someone was trying to take him out, or in his words, unalive him. You see, over the years, Fox has been very close to one man in particular, and that man is P. Diddy. Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, is a famous rapper and music producer, with many of his albums like No Way Out and Forever being certified platinum time and time again. However, if you've ever received an invite to Diddy's house, you were more than likely met with some rules. And one of those rules was, don't tell anybody what you saw here or did. You see, it turns out that Diddy would regularly host, let's say, extravagant events at his home for those celebrities who needed to blow off some steam and hadn't really come to terms with who they were on the inside yet. Fox was invited to attend said event, but has kept to his word and stayed quiet. However, there has been speculation for years on the rapper's true orientation, as he was known to have a party lifestyle, but a very secretive one at that. All was calm for Diddy until a few months ago, when Fox posted a video of himself seemingly confirming the rumor as true, and even describing a time when he tried to enter the home with a massive video camera and was refused entry by Diddy. Being out touted by anyone is horrible, but having someone hospitalized in response may be a little bit too far. That's right, many reports suggest that Diddy has a vendetta against Foxx for spilling the beans and hired someone to send him a message. Diddy is a very wealthy man. Who knows how many people he may have in his pocket, ready to take out an enemy? With money comes access. Access to things like untraceable toxins or big buff guys with crowbars. So is the rapper paying someone to take out the man that broke his cardinal rule of partying really out of the realm of question? After working alongside world-famous Scientologist Tom Cruise in the film Collateral, Foxx would receive his first Academy praising, being nominated for Best Supporting Actor at that year's Oscar ceremony. Don't feel bad, because a year later he won Best Actor for his portrayal as music legend Ray Charles in the biopic Ray. His performance stunned the audience, as not only was Jamie's stellar acting chops on display, but his absolutely incredible vocal skills stole the show. Now, Jamie hasn't always exclusively been on camera in acting capacities. Foxx made an album in 1994 called Peep This that didn't receive a lot of success at first, but in 2003 he featured on the song Slow Jams by rapper Twista alongside Kanye West, and the song hit #1 on the US Billboard's Top 100 list. He collaborated again with Kanye on his song Gold Digger, in which Foxx sang a Ray Charles inspired hook, but since that time, Foxx has gone on to keep up the good work, so to speak, releasing 3 more solo albums, which also led the Top 100 chart several times. He's been a regular in Hollywood as an actor for a while now though, starring in blockbuster movies like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Baby Driver, Django Unchained, and even recently pulling an Adam Sandler and signing a contract with Netflix, essentially guaranteeing that he has work for the rest of his life, and the possibility of leading his own franchises with movies like Project Power and Day Shift. On the surface, this should mean that Foxx lives a happy, healthy life, right? While this may sound far-fetched at first, the information Foxx shared about his upcoming Netflix project Back in Action will back up the theory. The film Back in Action has suffered film setbacks from the very beginning. Not long after production began and cameras started to roll, Foxx had the project paused after he discovered a crew member was plotting to steal $55,000 from the actor's personal account. He reported this to the police, and the bosses of the shoot ultimately had the project halted, allowing an investigation to take place. The investigation led to a member of staff being fired, as it was discovered they had been linked to multiple attempted scams on celebrities over the years. This wasn't the only crew member to be fired, as Foxx reportedly snapped on set following the incident, firing several crew members in what has been described as an all-out witch hunt. The movie has been cursed from the start, with many crew, including Jamie himself, claiming that the entire project has felt like it was being sabotaged. Sure, Mother Nature played a big part in this role, seeing as the movie was being filmed in London during the winter, but this latest incident left a dark cloud looming over the set, with the situation becoming so bad that actress Cameron Diaz, who was set to make her return to acting, decided to change her mind and stay retired following the release of Back in Action. 3 weeks ago, Foxx was rushed to hospital for a mysterious medical complication and has only recently posted an update on Instagram with an update on his condition, seemingly on the right track to feeling healthy. His family has been with Foxx since the incident, but has also been unable to share the exact details on what's happened. And what's odder still though, is despite Foxx being in hospital, the director of Back in Action, Seth Gordon, has opted to continue filming Jamie's scenes just with his stunt double instead. This begs many to ask questions like, why is this man so calm and quick to continue shooting? Now we understand having a deadline, but if your main actor is out sick, especially with an unknown medical condition, and especially after having the shoot canceled a few weeks prior, why would you continue shooting when you haven't got the first idea when or if that guy is going to come back? There are several theories circulating at the moment calling to question the director's true nature. Money makes the world go round. So what if P. Diddy knew Gordon would take the bribe? What if the pair of them have been behind every single thing wrong with this project from the very beginning? Maybe he hired someone to attempt to steal Jamie's money to distract him from the real purpose, from his true intentions. And were they personally responsible for the hospitalization of Jamie Foxx? Well, according to his family, the jury may still be out on that one. Today, the latest updates on Jamie's health are bleak to say the least. Despite a social media post sent out from his account on May 3rd, thanking fans for all their love love and support. A recent statement from a family member who has been frequenting the hospital has claimed that they are still unaware of the specific causes for his collapse, but are becoming worried and have begun to prepare for the worst. Jamie has been in and out of hospital for a few weeks now, with his latest stay being around April 30th. He's been there for weeks and has not gotten out of bed. With reports by family claiming that his condition hasn't changed, many now speculate that this could mean that Jamie is suffering from some kind of an internal brain injury. There may be some merit to that idea. While Jamie has a stuntman, not unlike many other A-list celebrities, he has been known to do some of his own stunts from time to time. Recently, Foxx has been appearing in a number of action movies back to back, including Back in Action. Has all that tossing around and landing on his head finally caught up to him? Being stuck in a hospital after collapsing for seemingly no reason sounds horrifying. If anything, they should be preparing for the worst. There are numerous number of injuries linked to head trauma, and while concussions are common, it's very possible that Jamie has some kind of blood clot or burst blood vessel blocking the signals from reaching his brain. All of the secrecy around Foxx's hospital experience is only adding more fuel to the fire. With so many allegations and rumors circulating at the moment, it would just make sense to simply release some information on what happened to the guy. His family is completely in their right not to say anything. It's a private matter that does not need to be anybody's business. But we as fans are just nervous at this point. Is Jamie secretly on track to recovery, or will the next update be the last one? Well, we at the channel send our love and well wishes to Jamie and his family, and with any luck, we'll be back with a really positive update on the star very soon.